Cable law. All right. So I'm trying to find. Saw something about this thing called FST344. I'm not sure what the fuck it's about. So I'm trying to find the best type of peptide that I can implement into my stizzity stack. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm starving.
We'll be talking about the extremely popular and very promising peptide follistatin 344. FST 344 is actually being looked at as a potential remedy for muscular dystrophy, certain types of cancer, and even assist in hair growth. In a study performed on mice, follistatin was actually shown to increase lean muscle mass without need for any specific exercise or dietary requirement. They showed a 10% increase in muscle mass compared to the mice in the control group. So if your training and your diet are sufficient, you should see even more substantial growth. We'll be
Okay. Let's see what other peptide I see there. GDF8. What's GDF8? Let's see. GDF8 peptide. Where's, I guess that's the name of it. ACE031. 17 minutes, that's too long. Why can't I see anything on this shizbang? It's GDF8. Let me see. GDF-8. What about, let's try. Let me go to page 2 of this page that I'm at real quick. IGF-1R3. IGF-1R3. I didn't mean to press doses. I just wanted to see. Let me just put the laundry list of side effects loud.
So I'm going to read off the anabolics book of the side effects they have. Joint pain, growth of tonsils, snoring, headache, dizziness, convulsions, vomiting, ear pain, hearing loss, hypertrophy of the thymus gland, and stimulate growth of internal organs. All these are horrendous side effects. IGF is one of the most powerful, most dangerous muscle building compounds there is that is just touted around. LO3 is no joke. So the injections that are listed on here is 20 to 80 micrograms is commonly used. And then they are very much harping that you consume a meal after. That's my research out of the anabolics book as well as the history. What do I think? I've used IGF-LR3 about like 4 or 5 times, and each time I use it for 1 to 2 weeks, get off it. 1 to 2 weeks, get off it. Those 1 to 2 weeks going crazy, really trying not to engorge myself with food, try and not keep blood sticking around my waist, because I don't want my organs to grow any more than they're going to grow, but I don't want them to be overstimulated because I'm eating like a fucking pig on IGF, which again, if we look at some of these bubble gut bodybuilders, we
imagine being able to build anything for any reason, in any style.
This is where the whole concept of DECA originated from, and where people were encountering massive issues with their Johnson function, to the point where you could have like a raging libido, but your dank would just be completely non-functional for anything besides urination.
That doesn't sound good. I heard of DECA dick. And when you get on DECA, your fucking dick don't work.
So guys, Derek, moreplaysmoredates.com. Today we are going to be talking about what it feels like to be on DECA or nandrolone. Actually, nandrolone, because everyone always forgets that decanoate is an ester. Well, not everyone, but like the random motherfuckers in the comment section on the anabolic steroid family tree videos who are always like, where is DECA? And we all know at this point that DECA is not the drug. Nandrolone is the drug. DECA, decanoate, is an ester. So anyways, The Trenbolone video did pretty well. What it feels like to be on Tren. A lot of people found it entertaining and informative. So I felt like, why not do a series on what it feels like to be on blank? And then you just fill in the blank with whatever compound it is that I have experience with that I can, have some sort of testimonial about. So anyways, Nandrolone, I have experiences on it on way too much test as well as D-ball at the same time. I have experience with just test with it. I have experience with Nandrolone on its own. I have experience with it with estrogen. So I have like a pretty comprehensive, outline, at least from what, at least my personal individual response as to how it responds in certain situations. So let's start on the hyper extreme side of the spectrum, which is how people are usually running it, which is with a fat, overwhelming dose of test and maybe other shit. So at that dose, it's highly problematic for a lot of people. And this is where the whole concept of Deca originated from, and where people were encountering massive issues with their Johnson function, to the point where you could have like a raging libido, but your dank would just be completely non-functional for anything besides urination. So it's like, and I experienced this too. And I talked about this in one of my last videos where I had a combination of test, D-ball, and Deca, and it was like the worst cycle ever. It was like the most disgusting I've ever looked. My blood pressure was absolutely ruthless. I was a walking nosebleed. I would have ED to the point that I could take fucking 100 milligrams of Viagra and still have ED. It was just nuts. So anyways, the reason for that though is largely driven through Nandrolone's inherent progestogenic activity, which can make testosterone and any other compounds that are substrate for aromatase significantly more problematic. Nandrolone on its own does not inherently aromatize to any significant degree. It is actually far less estrogenic than the parent compound it is derived from, which is testosterone. So testosterone is a far more potent substrate for aromatase and aromatizes significantly more into straight bioidentical estradiol. Whereas Nandrolone is like minimally estrogenic and only to a minor degree. And while this can be advantageous for those who are like highly susceptible to estrogenic side effects from testosterone, and that's where the Nandrolone cycles sort of come into play, where you could theoretically achieve a lower estrogen burden, which for some people who have poor metabolism of estrogens or just have are way too fat or whatever the reason is, some people are going to respond very poorly to especially super physiological doses of testosterone if they are, one of those individuals, or, a myriad of other scenarios, lifestyle, genetic, diet, etc., body composition induced scenarios that could lead to estrogenic overload essentially in a testosterone user that may otherwise feel actually better on a Nandrolone cycle. But when you have the two in unison with one another, not only do you often find people who have such a highly problematic dose of testosterone where they already need an AI to control their use because they're already using more than they can handle, but then they throw a 19-nor on top that is progestogenic and can exacerbate the estrogenicity of the testosterone, thus compounding into this fucking supernova of ED essentially, and causing a myriad of issues, most notably in the dick department, as well as mentally. You'll often hear some bodybuilders, it's like very hit or miss with Nandrolone. Some will say they love it, and then some will say they fucking hate it and makes them like super depressed. And
well, I got the information I needed. Actually, it kills your dick and gets you depressed. Chill. I didn't even know about this.
Retatrutide isn't just for fat loss. It actually exposes what's been holding you back. Low energy, gut issues, slow recovery. It either sharpens your anabolic protocol or shows you where it's broken. Warning. This is not another Reta does fat loss video. Today, you will find out why Reta works uniquely when you're on gear, what triggers early burnout and fatigue, and how to avoid negative side effects, allowing Reta to be used safely. Most guys think it kills appetite, but it slows digestion, dulls absorption, and recalibrates how your brain handles reward. So you're still training, but performance will feel off. Not because something broke, but because the shortcuts are gone. Now the cracks start to show. Poor sleep, low thyroid, underfueling. Retta didn't cause it, it just exposed it. So now guys are not just less hungry, they're less rewarded. All those post-workout meals, snacks, and earned it moments weren't just calories, they were dopamine rituals, and Retta shuts that down. Less ghrelin means less food seeking. Less food is less dopamine. Less dopamine, lower drive, flatter mood. And suddenly, your favorite cheat meal sounds boring. As you didn't love the food, you were chasing the feeling, not the flavor. Even in rodent studies, it shows dopamine takes a hit on Retta. And this shift isn't just in all the users' heads, it's chemical recalibration. Food now feels pointless. Training is a little bit less fun. Drop a comment below if you felt it. Anyway, here's what no one talks about until it's too late. Appetite tanks as micronutrient intake crashes. Digestion slows, so meals linger and a bloated feeling creeps in. Gastric emptying delays. That sounds really weird. What is that? It means even if food is clean, it can feel like you swallowed a brick. Libido takes a dip. Not from the Retta, but from low dopamine, thyroid stress, and a lack of food. This compound doesn't cause dysfunction. It just stops you from hiding behind habits that you are compensating for it. And this isn't about being ready or not. It's more about realizing when the drug removes those cover-ups. So your protocol either holds or it doesn't. Some of you may have had a high-fat meal on Retta, and if you have, it just sits there, like you've swallowed a kettlebell. Now that's not cheat day gone wrong, that's your enzymes going offline. Lipase and amylase drop. Your gut is not broken, it's just unarmed. That wasn't the food. You just didn't have the firepower to break it down. So when Retta reveals the truth to you, this protocol makes it work. For digestion, glutamine is needed for gut lining, ginger to keep mobility moving, digestive enzymes for high protein or heavy fat meals, electrolytes for the sodium and potassium shift, neurotransmitters, tyrosine for dopamine support, methylated V vitamins. These support energy, mood, and metabolism. Theanine will buffer that overstimulated and underfed stress state. Thyroid and cofactors. Zinc and selenium support T4 to T3 conversion. Magnesium glycinate aids sleep, blood sugar, and digestion. Word to the wise. If T3 drops, don't ignore it. Consider adding a low dose of T3 or adjusting your thyroid support to restore balance. Now, the difference between thriving and fading on Retta, newsflash, it's not the dose, it's how your body handles it, because this is not a one-size-fits-all compound. The right dose heavily depends on your goals, your labs, and how much stress your system can handle. Maybe you want mood stability and glucose support, or real appetite control. Or perhaps someone wants to destroy their digestion and feel like a zombie. This is what smart, sensible dosing actually looks like. So it's not just more dose equals more effect. It reacts to things like sleep, gear, carbs, cortisol, and your baseline. So it's smart to track it, feel it, and adjust your protocol based on the response. Otherwise, guesswork can come at a price. As when you're enhanced, your body moves fast. You burn through protein quickly. Recovery speeds up, but you'll need extra support. And your nervous system is on overdrive. And if Retta is sitting in your anabolic protocol, hunger will be lowered. That will cut fuel and slow down recovery. So we've now got less energy and weaker workouts. But this is when strategic refeeds, which are targeted carb increases, are absolutely key to refilling your tank and speeding up repair. And that will preserve your hard-earned muscle if you're taking Retta. But watch out, coming off Retta too fast can cause food cravings to hit full force. Brain fog sets in and digestion goes rogue. So here's a smarter, controlled way to transition. Week 1, cut the dose in half. Week 2, halve it again. And beyond week 3, consider switching to tirzepatide or stabilize at a low dose taken 3 times a week. Now, during the taper, bring carbs back gradually and keep the digestive support in place for 2 weeks. So a gradual taper will help you reset your system before you go into maybe a muscle building phase. Did you know long-term Retta use slows down bone turnover? Therefore, without enough pressure, nutrients, or training, bones can weaken and the risk of fractures increase. And for those that are not superhuman, without anabolic support, the dangers grow and the body gradually breaks itself down. Beyond that, the skeleton isn't the only thing under stress. Let me explain. Reta triggers hormones that curb your appetite, burn fat, and balance energy, helping you to get leaner very quick. So on paper, that sounds like metabolic magic, but put that into a system that's already inflamed, already on growth hormone, maybe low carb, and now your pancreas is there juggling insulin swings and beta cell stress in the background. If you don't solve your blood sugar issues, you just quieted the symptoms temporarily, and now they're coming back stronger. This is where a glucose monitor is recommended so you can manage your metabolic health closely. Also, supplements like berberine, omega-3s, curcumin, probiotics, zinc, and vitamin D are all useful to support blood sugar and reduce inflammation. Reta won't fix a broken anabolic protocol. It can only reflect it, showing you where recovery, hormones, digestion, or where overall cycle strategy is falling short. And from this comes a key question. Has your body been prepared to handle Reta safely? Because there is good news. With a strong protocol, Reta will unlock accelerated visual lean gains and does help the user with safer anabolic usage, but only if the foundation is solid. Either way, if you think you might need some help and guidance on your mission to level up safely, you can reach out. Below this video, in the description box, there's a link. Hit that link and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. If you're using anabolics or TRT, that can take a toll on your health. I'm going to show you how in this next video, Reta protects your organs, boosts your recovery and supports long-term health. Plus, you get the exact dosages and timings so Reta can be used optimally. This is Dr. James. Been a pleasure. I'm out.
That's crazy. I don't want to deal with all that fucking shit with my stomach and the digestion and shit. I already have fucking stomach issues as it is, bro. I still haven't done like the fucking check for after I had gastro. Was it diverticulitis? Yeah, so fuck. Now I gotta choose a different fucking peptide, dude. I might do HGH fragment. That shit sounds like it's fucking awesome. Let me see if I can find something. Let's see. HGH fragment. 76191. Let's see who I can find.
Makes at least 150K a year and you feel self-conscious about your gut sticking out, I'll get you.
Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro bodybuilder and coach. And today I'm going to be talking to you all about Fragment 176-191, which is a secret fat burner of the pros, or shall we say the pros that know about it. Half know and don't use it, and half the coaches don't know about this. I'm going to explain everything you know about this. I've been using this for probably 7 years for every show, and I like it a lot. So, before I get into it, I am no doctor. I don't know anything about anything. I'm a complete moron and idiot. So do not listen or do ever say in these videos. These videos are just for entertainment. So they're just free to listen and have a good time and have a chuckle. They're not free to actually do anything. Never break the law, ever. So don't do anything illegal based on what you've seen in this video. All right. What is it? Fragment is a peptide. It is a portion of GH. It's like, think of growth hormone as this long ass tail, like say it's 10 feet long. And then the tip of it, like the last foot, is responsible for burning fat. So what they do is they they just chop that off and we take that and then we inject that subcutaneously, which means under the skin, and that burns fat. So is Fragment 176-191 growth hormone? No, it is part of growth hormone. It does nothing that growth hormone does other than burn fat, okay? So I'm going to get into everything here. So there's lots of notes that I put on about this. Okay. So it's only going to burn fat. It is not going to make you look younger, speed recovery, anti-aging, help your skin, grow your nails, speed healing of injuries, cause hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, affect anything nothing. Make you sleep? No, nothing. Zilcho. It burns fat, period. That is it. It doesn't burn muscle. It doesn't build muscle. It has no stimulant effect. It doesn't burn fat because it gives you energy and makes you like pumped to exercise. None of that. It doesn't improve your endurance. Nothing like that. If you take it, it can make you heat up because your metabolism is higher. Okay? It does not cause virilization, so it's safe for females to use in that sense. It does not shut down your natural production of testosterone. It is not androgenic, nor is it anabolic. It is a fat burner. Think of it as like vitamin C. It does nothing to your body. It's not going to suppress, to raise, nothing. It burns fat. It is a fat burner. It's like caffeine burns fat, but caffeine is a stimulant. It doesn't do that. It's not going to make you not sleep. Nothing. Okay? Most people that use this, they just don't use enough of it. So the problem is, it's not something that you can just take a little bit of and take it for like 3 months and burn fat. Your body gets used to it. You need more and more and more. So what I do is I save this for the end. The most length of time I will ever use this is 5 weeks. I have started using it a few days ago, and I am within 3 weeks. Well, I'm within 2 weeks of my show now. So I started using it over 2 weeks out. Okay. As you get closer to the show or to your event, you need to use more and more and more of it. I will get all into those details. Okay, so how much do you do? So get your pens out. I'm going to tell you exactly my protocol. Twice a day. Phone's low on battery. Twice a day, morning and night. You are going to start by doing 300 micrograms twice a day. You could start with 250 twice a day. I do 300. I'm a bigger guy, okay? I'm like 195 pounds. If you're a chick, less, 200 maybe twice a day. 300 twice a day is where I like to go, morning and night. After the first week, your body gets used to it. We then up the dose to 450 twice a day. That means we're doing 900 in total. The first week we did 600, then we're going to do 900. The next week, we bump it up to 1,200 by doing 600 twice a day. After that, we're going to then go 3 times a day, because then we're getting into high doses, and you're going to do 500 3 times a day. And then the final week, 600 3 times a day. That's for a 5-week plan. Now, like me, I'm only doing it less than 3 weeks. So I just start at the 300 twice a day. And then I go up to the 450 twice a day. And then I go up to the 600 twice a day. And then I don't do the rest because I haven't needed to. I don't go that far because your body's going to get used to it. Okay, how do we reconstitute it? Okay, so it comes in a vial like this, okay? So then you can see there's like powder at the bottom. So what you do is you flip off the top, okay? See, so then that takes the top off. And then we want to avoid getting any kind of bacteria and getting an infection. So what you do is you take your alcohol swab and you swab the tip, okay? That gets rid of all the bacteria. We need bacteriostatic water, okay? Hopefully I have enough left. This stuff is a worldwide shortage. It's hard to get now. And this is a needle. And you basically just swab everything, poke the needle through, okay, put it in the air, flip it upside down, and then we're going to fill with 2 mils of water, 2 mLs of back water. So you can see you just keep pulling and it fills the needle. And I have run out. So I have...
Attention, single men, I've got a secret for you. I want to tell you something. It is 100K for you to date young.
Just over 1 ml. For the purpose of the video, it doesn't matter. I will add more later. You then stick the needle through the center and then you poke it in and you do the slow, notice I'm not squirting 100 miles an hour. I'm putting it slowly down the side of the vial. Slow. See this? Oh, you don't want to ruin it. You can see it hits the powder. This is called reconstituting, okay? That's when you basically dissolve your solvent with your solute. Your two things are dissolving together, and it's turning it into a liquid. Then you have to wait like 5 minutes or so, and why can't I see this? Oh, my hand's too high. And then so basically it's going to dissolve in this water, okay? And then it's ready to go. Then you're going to use an insulin syringe. And for the dosing, because there's 5,000, this is the math part that I know you hate, but 90% of you can't do math, so I have to explain it. 5,000 I use, or there's 5,000 micrograms, and I added in 2 mLs. An ml has 200 units in it. So this is like 1 ml. See how it goes to 100? You'd have to put 2 of these in it. Now I did this because it's like faster, but it goes 3 cc. So I had to put it to 2 cc. Fill it up. You do some math out. And 5,000 divided by 2 mLs means that each ml is going to have 2,500. Okay? So each 0.1 of a mil has 250. So each 0.01 has 25. So each one of those little tiny markers is 25. So if I pull it up to 10, that's 250. 20 would be 500. If I pull it up to a mil, it's 2,500. So to get 300, I literally do 12. So you'd have to count 12 little lines. So you basically just poke it into the vial, suck out 12, and then you just like pinch skin anywhere, okay? And then you just poke it in and do the shot, okay? So you pinch any skin, it doesn't matter. It could be your chest, right? It could be like on your stomach. So you would just grab here, pull it out, right? And then just stick it through. You can put it in your leg. So you just grab there and you just shove it through, okay? So it's as simple as that. Twice a day. That's going to burn fat. It's going to do so without any kind of stimulant effect. It's going to not affect. Literally, it just burns fat and does nothing else. So it's simple. I don't think I need to explain anything more. That's it. That summarizes it.
All right, cool. All right, Jesus. Fuck. Squeaky ass, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's been long enough, cuz. You feel what I'm saying, dog? 27 minutes. Look at that. There's that number again. I'm gonna get it here. Deuce.